Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our Friday night show, the Emily Pearl Show, live from Memphis, Tennessee, where we talk about a little bit of everything.
Hello.
Got co-host Tim Harrington in the house with me tonight.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing out there?
Sybil is not here. She had another engagement to go to at her church, so she's not here tonight. And
Okay.
next Friday night is July the 4th. Y'all, so we won't be having a show because we know y'all not gonna have no time to pay any attention to us. Is that right?
Hmm. Yeah.
I won't have time to pay attention. I won't have time to pay attention to y'all either. Not that I'm doing anything special, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, so thank y'all for joining us. We're not gonna keep y'all long tonight, as you know. When Tim and I do the show, we get in and we get out, and we like it
Hmm.
that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So tonight I want to start out with the big news, breaking news, y'all. If you got a Capital One
Mm.
account card, the debit card is the one that's changing. Big news: Capital One has purchased Discover Card Company.
Mm.
The whole kit and caboodle, y'all.
Wow.
$35 million billion. A $35 billion investment. And Capital One was able to buy it out because they are the number one financial institution in the United States now. They have
Hmm.
climbed up just as high because Chase used to be number one and Chase is not anymore. So you got Capital One. They went and purchased Discover. The deal was made in 2024 because I had to look it up, and the only reason why I looked it up is because I got a notice. But the deal was purchased was agreed upon in 24. The purchase was made May 18th or May 14th
Hmm.
of this year.
Right.
So everybody that's got a card will be getting a new card, and it's gonna say, I guess, Discover. Now, I had a Discover card probably like in 1992 or
Yeah.
three.
Yeah. Me too.
You did,
Yeah.
but I hadn't had one since because with Discover card, it was kind of like that American Express,
Yeah.
where wherever you purchase in a month's time, it's gonna show your bill. You had to pay the whole amount. Say, for instance, this is the month of June, right? So if I spent $500 in June, when I get my bill in July, I had to pay the whole $500. It wasn't no
Mm.
pay. It wasn't paying. It wasn't like paying no 40, $50, you
Yeah.
know, a
You're right.
month payment
Hmm.
on your credit card.
Hmm.
So that's the reason why I didn't like it. I also had American Express, but the only reason why I had those two cards is because during that time I had a business that required me to have those credentials. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because my clients would pay me with their card, and I had to be able to accept it. So,
Yeah.
um,
That was
I
my first car too back in '92.
this
Hmm. That was my
discover.
first one. Discover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wanted to put that out there for y'all. And moving right along locally,
Okay.
you know, I know y'all watch the local news TV stations, right?
Hmm.
Well, in our city of Memphis, Tennessee, we have Channel 13 Fox News. For the past 2 years, all I've been hearing them say, the big show. We're the big show. And then for the past 2 years, all I've been hearing them say, the most watched station, the most watched news station,
Hmm.
um, for this in
Mid,
Memphis.
Mid South.
Well,
Yeah.
Mid South. There you go.
Hmm.
Thank you, Tim. In the Mid South. So I kept hearing it so much. I said, wait a minute. It's something wrong with that. If they gotta say it that many times,
Yeah.
it's something wrong with it. So I had to think on it. I meditated a little bit. I said, okay, Channel 3 news, Channel 5 news, probably any other news that come on. They probably come on and stay on maybe 1 hour, 2 hours in the morning, right? Then they
Yeah.
gone. Then they gone. And they'll come on and they'll stay on maybe 1 or 2 hours in the evening, but they gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Channel 13 comes on at 4:30 in the morning and they don't go off the 10. And I don't even watch them at night, but they come on at, I think, 6 at night. I think they come on at 6 and they stay on an hour. And then they come on at 10 and stay an hour. They
Mm-hmm.
give you news. So you're talking, what, 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
So when you putting in 8 hours in contrast to the other TV stations, uh, maybe 4 hours a day, because they probably do like I say, 1 or 2 hours in the morning. They may come on at 10 o'clock and do an hour, right?
Yeah.
So at most, they doing 3 hours a whole day in the whole day.
Yeah.
But Channel 13 is doing 8 hours in a
Mm-hmm.
whole day of news. So
Yeah.
you're supposed to be you're not the
Yeah. I was
most
just gonna say that.
you're not the most watched.
Yeah.
They need to stop saying that because you're not the most watched. You're just staying on longer than anybody else, and you're a bigger show just because you have those many hours, right there.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right because I was just thinking, okay, if I missed the original news, I think people would default into that just because, like you said, they're on it 8 hours. So yeah, so people that missed it or couldn't catch it, right at the regular time,
Or on their station that they watch,
right?
after their
Uh
channel
huh.
3, channel 5. I don't even know if we got a 24 anymore.
We
But
do.
but after those news go off, then they might switch over to them, just seeing what they're saying, right?
Yeah,
But that's a lie that they channel 13 is not the most watched in the Mid South.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're only the most watched because you stay
Because you're
on the
on eight
longest.
hours. Yeah, yeah,
So you have to. That's why I try to teach people. Look, read into things. You know, don't just take things for its face value. You
yeah.
got to read into what does that mean. you
And we
know,
got and we got Google now, so it's no excuse.
but Google's not gonna tell you that. That's something you got to figure out and just knocking up here.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you go to Google, they gonna tell you the same thing that the channel is saying. That it's the big show. That
You
it's
know
the
what? You're
most
right.
watched in Miss South.
You're right. You're right.
That's all AI gonna tell you, right?
Yeah.
When it actually might not be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the truth. It's a
It's
lie.
like padding the books, Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And while we on news,
Okay.
uh, I get so sick and tired of when I watch a news station, they tell you what's coming up next, right?
Yes.
A headline, something important.
Mm.
So you stop what you do. I mean, instead of doing what you were planning to do, move around, you sitting there and you waiting for them to come back from their commercial break so they can tell you what you was waiting to see.
Right.
By gosh, do they tell you? No. They'll go and tell you something else and have another commercial. And then
Yeah.
you'll end up sitting there the whole hour and then well, in at least another 30, 40 minutes. And they're not going to tell you what they told you was coming up next 40
Yeah.
minutes ago until near the end of the show.
I stopped watching local news pretty much a long time ago.
Well, I don't
Um,
watch the channels. I watch the
mm,
apps because, with these TVs now,
right.
I watch like Haystack News.
Uh-huh.
Haystack News got every city's news channel in the United States.
Yeah. And
So
I got that. Yeah.
yeah, so I go there and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't watch their channel
You
on
know,
there, and I don't stay on it that long. I stay on there about
yeah.
30 minutes. That's
And
how I know it's not the must watch.
yeah, the thing about it is it's just it's different crimes, but it's crime field.
Mm.
You know, it gets so to the point to
Oh
where,
yeah, man. Two or
yeah,
three shootings every night. That's all
yeah,
the
yeah,
reporting.
and that gets kind of depressing if you want to see that every day. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to see that every day, but unfortunately, that's the reality that we live in. But who wants?
Unfortunately, that's the news. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, but who really wants to? Yeah, that's depression to me. I don't like it.
It is depressing. It's sad. It's depressing, but it is the news, you
It
know.
is the news.
And so and they do every now and then have some good news that they mix in with it. So let me give them the credit, right?
Give him a little credit, huh?
Give them a little credit. So,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying they like to keep you hanging on,
yeah,
and
cliffhanger. Yeah,
they lie to you,
yeah,
and it's
mislead you.
coming up next,
Yeah,
but it don't come up next,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and it
That,
gets on that gets on my nerves.
mm-hmm.
Well, Amazon Prime Day is coming up.
Amazon.
I don't buy nothing on Amazon Prime Day. When is Amazon Prime Day, Tim?
That's gonna be the 8th through the 11th.
Oh, July, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. June already
Of
gone.
July.
8th through the 11th, 3 days, huh?
Uh huh.
I don't buy anything on Prime. I have Amazon Prime. I've had Amazon Prime for about 7 years,
Yeah.
but I never buy anything on Amazon
So
Prime Day. You know why? Because those are sellers on there,
yeah,
and they hike their prices up during
yeah,
Amazon Prime Week. But Amazon company tell you gonna save. Well, you do save with the things that Amazon distribute and have that they stock.
yeah,
They might cut some percentage off, but those individual sellers and the majority of the sellers on there are individual small business companies, right?
hmm,
So they're not finna cut nothing. They actually raised their prices those 3 days,
yeah,
and that's why I don't buy anything.
yeah. No, I don't either. I've had an Amazon account for a long time, but I never paid. I never really paid any attention to it because it's always the same gimmick. If you look around, you know what I mean. If you've been
Yeah.
around a little while, it's
Well,
pretty
I
much the
did.
same.
I
Yeah.
did. I did. And I got suckered. I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you something else don't buy. When they tell you about they got the Amazon overstock,
Yeah.
a mystery box,
Yeah.
and you only pay $10 or $20 or whatever, and then they show you all these nice things that
Yeah.
might be in your that might,
Right.
and let me emphasize, might be in your
Hmm.
box. That's a lie too.
Yeah.
That's how I found out and started watching Amazon about the things they say and then what they actually do. And so I had ordered, I paid $10 for a box, mystery box. This is about 5 years ago. And I got something that was like some kind of look, what do you got? A knick-knack
Yeah.
or something that I couldn't even use, wouldn't even use, never would use. Nothing that I could even give anybody from it
Yeah.
was a piece of doggone
Yeah.
junk.
Yeah. As a kid, I can remember watching TV with my grandmother, and she would watch the shopathons. Back then, it was live TV.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
And it's
actually see what you're getting.
you actually see what you're getting. It was what they said it was. Not only that, it was better quality. But they stayed on, I believe, probably about
All night.
all night long. Because I can remember my grandmama just ordering, and it became a pattern. But I remember how they used to sell and what the gimmicks are. It's the same, repeats itself to me, really.
I
Just a
remember
different
that.
company.
Do you remember the episode of Mama's Family? Did you ever watch? And you probably ended up watching Mama's Family because I know your grandmother watched it. My mother, Mama's Family, the TV series, the comedy show. You know what? Mama's was dressed up like grandma,
Uh-huh.
and she had the son, and then she had the daughter-in-law and the son lived with her, and anyway,
Okay.
there was this particular episode where they showed her where she was like your grandmother.
Uh-huh.
She could not resist not ordering something from that television,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and they were showing in her living room. She had all boxes, all of stuff. Well, nowhere to hardly walk. She had ordered so much stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It
And
was addicted. I mean, because it was live. It was. If you don't remember it, it was
everything was so pretty.
everything was so
They
pretty.
had those spotlights on them, man.
Yeah. For the
Da-da-da.
next 15 minutes, for the next 15 minutes, for or the next
Man,
100 callers.
but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part of it was it wasn't this kind of phone. They had to pick up that old rotary
Yeah, the
phone.
old rotary phone.
Dial it down. You trying to hurry up and dial. So- and then you get and back then, y'all, they were
Busy.
getting busy signals.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
hang up the phone and dial again. Man, them grandmamas got so much doggone exercise
Oh yeah.
with them arms dialing those
Yeah.
numbers, trying to
Yeah.
hurry up and get in that
If
last
if
15
if
minutes.
you watched it, you were gonna order from it. That's
Yeah,
just how it pulled you in back then.
that's just how I
Uh,
put it
you'll
in.
be. I saw a lot of times grandma would order things that she really didn't need. It was
Uh-uh.
just it was a habit repeating itself.
Addiction.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. And you
yeah,
can actually get addiction now, even with our modernizations
yes.
of online and
Uh,
with these phones.
with these
With this
phones.
right here.
Yep,
This is an addiction right here.
sure can with the swipe of
Ordering,
a finger.
ordering. It sure can.
Hmm.
Because I
Hmm.
had to pull back. And
Yeah.
speaking of ordering, y'all, this summer it's hot now.
Oh yeah.
So this is a time to order your winter things.
Uh huh.
Now I'm gonna tell you how to save money
Uh-oh. I hear you.
because yes, because I've been on a budget pretty much all my life. Well,
Uh-huh.
I'll say pretty much, but
Me
and I'll
too.
say not all my life, but pretty much all my life.
Right.
So I know how to save money.
Mm-hmm.
So this is summertime. All of the winter stuff is half price or 75% off. Some cheaper than that, 80% off.
Mm-hmm.
So now is the time to order anything that you want that's winter in
Right.
your clothes, except for boots. Don't
Mm-hmm.
order boots because they got this dance out, boots on the ground. They don't. They don't- they got they
Yeah,
got the dance.
everybody had to stop in
They got the
boots.
dance out boots on. I'm glad I already got 5 pairs of boots, right? Five.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got white, I got black, I got red, I got some sparkly ones, and I got
yeah,
brown. I don't need
yeah,
no more boots.
yeah. They
But those
stock shot up.
the boots are shot up prices
Yeah,
of the boots. I don't care what color you get and how they made.
yeah, it's
They
shot
don't
up
they
now.
don't they have shot raised the prices through the roof,
Yes,
y'all.
had the
No,
man
do
form.
not buy the boots now. So, but your winter coats, your winter sweaters, and things like that. Now is the
Mm-hmm.
time to order those and
Right.
buy those because they're half price or cheaper. And the same thing, vice versa. I buy my summer clothes, my lightweight clothes in the winter time
Right.
because that's when they're half price or cheaper. Now that's how you save money. Better listen
Good
to this
tip.
old lady.
Good tip. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Because when the season is in, that's everything is either it's normal price or higher.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's out of
Sure is.
season, it's cheaper. It's
Right.
like when I bought my lawnmower, my battery operated lawnmower, I bought it in the wintertime and I got it much cheaper. And guess they're selling it now in the summertime for twice, y'all, what I paid for it. Winter, was it winter before last or last winter before last? Winter before
Mm-hmm.
last. So as you can see, excuse me, as you can see, you can buy more things off season than just clothes.
Oh yeah.
Just think about it,
Yeah.
and then you will save your money.
Tis the season.
Say just say that's right, buying on a budget. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
save the money. Don't buy anything summery now. Just
Nah.
live with what you got until it turns cold. When
Mm-hmm.
it gets freezing cold, get
Buy the house.
online and start ordering your spring and your summer stuff that you
Right.
want. So that's the reason why I can tell you how I've been doing that for the past 11 years. So
Yeah,
I
and
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and the Chinese have made it where you can order directly from them. You don't have to go through the storefronts here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They got stores online.
yeah, it's online now. They made it available when the thing was going on about the tariffs. So they
Hmm.
cut the middleman out, and you can deal directly with them.
Yeah,
All your
because
name
they
brand,
actually have local warehouses in the United States.
right, right. And these
Um,
are the same people that make the real. You can't tell the difference in them, but you can tell the difference in the pricing. So
for
I would
sure.
encourage you to, especially the ones that like the name brand stuff. That's gonna be your best route to go. And I'm gonna let
Hmm.
you have that one for free.
Like that shit, they gonna have that one for free. All right, then. All right, so we gotta take a break now. We come back with a couple of points on politics, and then we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, we're not gonna hold you long. So y'all stay tuned, and we're gonna be right back. Not right back. We'll be back. I'm not gonna be like the TV news stations,
Yeah.
but we don't stay gone as long as they do, because they'll tell you 60 seconds. It'll be 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give you no seconds. I'm just
I
gonna
know,
say
right?
we'll be back. Take a break, and if you miss it, something, and we're back, just replay it tomorrow, the weekend, Sunday, Saturday, Monday, whenever, and
Yep.
you'll catch the part that you missed. All right. We'll see you. We'll be right back. Oh, that's my jam.
Mm.
I keep saying I'm gonna put some words to that song one day, but I'm gonna have to wait till I got a whole lot of breath and my asthma is not kicking up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Cause that's a bad song.
Yeah.
My mouth got to really be moving to get the sound beat with that song.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All right. So as you all know, you probably heard it on the news that today the Supreme Court they put they some little chickens to me. They killed me. Boy, they took me to death, but they so old I can't hardly blame them.
Mm.
They did they last. I think they did about five, six, seven decisions from the Supreme Court, because this was their last day for their term. They won't be back, y'all, until next year. they get
Wow.
they get a long vacation, don't they?
There's a long vacation.
Yeah. So anyway, today one of them was on the health care. And
Okay.
as you know, President Trump has been saying he wasn't gonna be touching the Medicaid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Medicare. Okay, well listen to this. The Supreme Court upheld a key part of the Federal Affordable Care Act regarding free preventive care. specifically the role of the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force in determining which services are covered without cost sharing. In other words, what preventive health that you can get
Mm-hmm.
that you won't have to pay for. And what it does, it preserves access to preventive services like cancer screenings, HIV protection, I mean prevention, medication for many individuals. They also address the issue of state authority to recover Medicaid costs from settlements, ruling in favor of a state's ability to do so under certain conditions. All right, so what that means is that the court ordered, the challenge ordered that the task force up there in DC, they got a 13-member board member, what they call task force is over healthcare. Okay,
Okay.
so the challenge argued that the task force was improperly appointed, but the court disagreed.
Okay.
We're talking about Trump's team now,
Yeah, we go.
but the court disagreed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means um, that they sent it back to the states,
Yeah.
and the state has the right to um, the task. Hold on just a minute. Make sure I get this right. Um, Federal Health Task Force. Okay, here we go. It's called the Kennedy. The ruling was the case was the Kennedy versus Braidwood Management.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. It leaves intact the 16-member U.S. Preventive Task Force. 16 members. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I was close.
Right.
So these appointments, I said, the court said, are fully consistent with the articles of the Constitution. The structure of the task force and the manner of appointing its officers preserve the chain of political accountability
Mm-hmm.
that was central to the framers' design of the appointments clause.
Okay.
So they took on added significance after the passage of the Affordable Care Act in 2010. The law requires health insurers and group health plans to provide preventive services that are recommended by the task force without imposing copays.
Right.
Now, a group of Christian-owned businesses and individuals filed a lawsuit saying that the preventive care coverage mandates cannot be enforced because the task force members were unconstitutionally appointed. So, in other words, these Christian owned businesses and other individuals that have insurance companies
Yeah.
um, and provide group health plans, mostly private companies
Right.
that provide group
Uh.
plans.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah. And
hold
go
on,
ahead.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
They filed this lawsuit saying that the preventive care, like cancer screenings and providing preventive medications for diseases like HIV, should not be allowed because see what happens is that makes the company, that private company, have to pay for it. It's because there is a charge for it. But because the doctor gonna charge it. See, the doctor is the middleman, right?
Yeah.
So the doctor provides the service. The doctor gonna charge somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or the laboratory is gonna charge somebody. So these people that filed the lawsuit and took it to the Supreme Court were a group of companies and Christian-owned businesses because they were being forced to pay it, and because they're private, they're not government, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying their argument was they shouldn't have to pay for any preventive health care. So the court struck that down, and they made their excuse on the task force, which was stupid
Mm-hmm.
because they could have asked me that. I could. They wouldn't. They could not. They could have saved all that money
Yeah.
because anything that's appointed and approved by Congress is usually constitutional. Most, I would say, 98.9% is
Mm-hmm.
usually constitutional.
Yeah.
So I could have saved them that. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just gonna say, Trump spoke about that, about he was gonna push a lot of things back to the states. I think it all started to happen, if I can remember correctly, back when Roe versus Wade. Um,
You're
but
right. He did. Hmm.
right, so
That's
therefore
when
he's
that's when he started. You're right.
right. So he's gonna push a lot of these things back to the state, because he's in one on one hand he was saying that the governors should be able to govern their state, and if you're not, then you're doing a piss poor job. You don't need to be there. So I understand where he's coming from. I think a
Hmm.
lot of people forget what Trump says earlier. The guy told you everything that he was going to do when he got in, and he's basically that's what he's doing. But yeah, Mom, I would have to agree with you on that, though. They could have saved a lot of money on that.
They could have paid me. They could have paid me to tell them the truth, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
Would have been one check.
yeah, yeah, one check. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could tell you where you would have won or lost,
Right.
but because see, it didn't just. How does a case get to the Supreme Court? It has to first go through federal court,
True.
and here's what happened: a federal district court and the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit found that the task force structure is unconstitutional,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why it was taken to the Supreme Court. Guess who took it? The new Secretary of healthcare, which is Kennedy, the guy,
Yes.
Kennedy
Robert.
guy,
Uh-huh.
Robert Kennedy. So that's why it's called Kennedy versus um, Braid Kennedy versus Braidwood Management
Okay.
Incorporated.
Okay.
So Braidwood Management Incorporated was the lawsuit people. I mean, the people that filed a lawsuit.
Uh-huh.
Kennedy was our Robert Kennedy, right?
Right.
So, but before Robert Kennedy, you had the federal court and the fifth district agreeing with these people who were totally wrong. See, I'm talking about a federal district court and a court of appeals said,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, these people are right to file this lawsuit because it is unconstitutional. But see, I'm trying to tell y'all this. That's why you need to read stuff. Y'all need to read for yourself. That's why I read so much.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you got half of these judges sitting on the benches. They don't forgot about the rules of the Constitution. They've been sitting on the
Yeah.
bench so long.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
And
Yeah.
they
That's
don't, and they're not like us in insurance. I'm an insurance agent. Guess what? Every 2 years, I got to study again and pass my test all over again in order to keep my licenses, or if or to renew my licenses,
yeah.
I should say.
Yeah, they don't have to do any of that.
They don't have to do any of that. They forget all the law.
Yeah.
I
All they
mean,
have to do really is show up.
you've been a judge for 40, 50 years. You ain't picked up the Constitution and studied it since you was in law
Nah.
school.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I tell y'all, read for yourself, because all of the Constitution, every single word of it, is easily available on this thing y'all do everything else on, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, I can I do some weird things. That's the reason why they call me eccentric. That's a fancy word for crazy.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay.
eccentric because I will read stuff that doesn't even come to other people's minds.
Yeah.
And because I
Yeah.
woke up one morning and I was like, 4 score and 7 years ago, our forefathers brought to this nation And I was like, wait a minute, is that the Bill of Rights or was that Lincoln's
Mm-hmm.
Gettysburg Address?
Again, what is it? Who is coming? I
That's
can't. Paul
Lincoln.
Revere.
No, that wasn't the Boston Tea Party. You talking about
Okay,
Boston Tea
okay,
Party.
okay.
But I had to research that just to find out which one it was. But
Yeah,
it was actually Lincoln's Gettysburg address.
yeah. You know the
And
thing. Hmm.
we had to learn it in school.
Yeah,
These
yeah, yeah.
schools
And this.
nowadays do not teach these students anything about
Mm-mm,
politics. They don't teach them. They don't even know how to. They don't even know the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
they don't, and they don't
They
even
be
know how
like,
to write. They
they
don't
be
know
like,
how to
what?
write in cursive.
They be like, the
No.
what? What? The Allegiance? The who?
Yeah,
That be, ask them, do they
yeah,
know the Pledge of Allegiance flag? What?
yeah. Yeah. They don't even know how to write in cursive. So you know.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Hmm.
that was my news on politics. What you got, Tim?
Well, I'd like to take this moment and congratulate my boy Donald Trump
Oh,
for
what you
stepping in there.
congratulating him on?
Yeah, because he's been in there working with things and trying to make things happen and look like he got a little leeway right now. I think
Oh,
everybody's at a standstill.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, they
think
talking about impeaching him because of that war, about sending them missiles, about sending them bombers over there to Iran.
look, look, that's the last thing they gonna do. That ain't even on the agenda on the chart.
You got
Uh,
half the Democrats, and
a
and
lot
we
of
got all
people
the Democrats, mostly all the
wait.
Democrats, and half the Republicans.
But wait a minute. Everybody from the time this man got in office was giving him a hard time about what he said about trying to make peace in the war. And they just stayed on it, and they stayed on it, and they stayed on it, as though he wasn't trying to do that. But now it has come to light that he was working as hard as he possibly could work to get it done. Because I think this is the first time like this, what, since a year and a half? How long you been watching him on TV?
Ever since October 7, 2023, when Netanyahu
23.
attacked, I mean, when the Hamas attacked Israel, and
Mm-hmm.
then Israel retaliated back, but been retaliating back for
Uh-huh.
18 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Western, the Eastern countries are upset about. Russia doesn't like it. China doesn't like it. North Korea doesn't like it. Iran doesn't like it. And 53 other countries. I'm not going to name all of them. The
Yeah.
only somebody that has been allowing Netanyahu Israel to do what they are doing to this culture, ethnicity of people is the United States, UK, Canada, France, there's one more. But anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
that five
Yeah.
against 50 or 60 other countries. So
Yeah.
that's unbalanced. So that's the reason why I say no. If Trump hadn't done such a good job to me as far as talking about making no peace in the Middle East. No, he just thinks he has a piece of the Middle East, a
well,
PIECE.
well,
He
well,
doesn't.
for right.
He has a piece. He has a piece. PIECE. That's
Yeah.
Israel, but he does not have PEACE, which
Well,
is calm. Which is calm.
right now we can say it's at a standstill. It hasn't been that what you say since 20
No, no, no,
2023.
no, 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 no. Well, no, you getting it to you. You got it mixed up. Netanyahu still shooting and killing people trying to get food in an aid line, and still shooting bombs on Gaza. We're not talking about Gaza. You
Mm-hmm.
talking about Iran and Israel. That's what you talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
See, Netanyahu picked the fight with Iran when he sent some missiles over there first.
Right.
And the only reason why Netanyahu did that is because everybody, all these other countries that I was telling you about, was was trumping up on him, ganging up on him and Trump about Gaza. And he saw where he was finna get put out of power because when he gets put out of power, he's going to jail as a warmonger if he doesn't get if somebody doesn't kill him first.
Yeah.
But I'm not finished.
No,
Hold it.
go ahead. Go
Hold it.
ahead. You right. Go
So the
ahead.
only reason why I didn't tell you to did what he did when he just up out of nowhere, made up an excuse, lied, like talking about Iran was within 2 weeks of having a nuclear weapon. Netanyahu been telling that lie for 30 years. He told the same lie for Kuwait. He told the same lie to the United States for Iraq. He's, he's to Libya. He told that same lie for all of those wars. Every war that we have been in with the Middle East, then now you told the same lie. They are gonna have a nuclear weapon, and within weeks, they're only weeks away from. They got with Iraq. They had weapons of mass destruction. You remember that lie? That was with Bush, right? White House.
Yeah, that was with Bush.
Okay. So this, where did they get the lie from? Nothing tell you. See, that's what
Hmm.
I'm telling y'all. Y'all got to read history. Because if you don't read history and you listen to this mainstream news and what they tell y'all be just as ignorant as they are up there in the White House. You got to read the history, go back and read the history for yourself. But anyway, that's the only reason why he did that
Hmm.
was because he wanted to draw attention away from Gaza and bring Trump into the war. And that's
Okay.
exactly what he did. Netanyahu seems to be smarter to me than Trump is. Because Trump went right on, right, lagging right there. Doing, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, Netanyahu. What else? You want me to send two
Well,
bombers, two B bombers?
well,
Okay, I sent them.
well. The intel came back different, and this is where the decisions are made in the in the war room. The intel that they had was the facilities, the three facilities, which they had to strategically attack because they had to fly 38 hours straight in order to even complete the mission. Now, we said that the Iranian, what they had in there, they had already moved, but Trump's party is saying that that's not true. It was a successful mission. He's always have stood, on that they can't have that.
Why?
They can't have it. Well, if people go back and look at the video, I asked you that question a couple of weeks ago, and you were able to find the video, which explained. And I encourage anybody that's watching this show, go back and watch that because it gives you exactly why they are not having want them to have anything. It's very interesting. So it's maybe about probably about 10 minutes, something like that.
Well, it's actually about 20 minutes long, but it's
But it's
worth it.
worth it. It's worth it. It gives you a whole new outlook on things because that was the question that I posed to my mom. I said, well, it's always been said that they can't have a nuclear weapon. They never would talk about why. They wouldn't go into anything. It was just that blanket statement that they
Yeah.
made.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we found out why. We showed y'all why. Those of you to watch it, you can go back to
Mm-hmm.
our TPS Productions channel
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube and look for it. I don't know which date it was, but I think it was last month.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go back and look through them, and you'll be able to see it because I'm not gonna show it tonight.
Right.
But you're talking about the aftermath. What I was talking about was going into it. But
Okay.
let's talk. But since you brought up the aftermath, let's talk about it. You mentioned something about Intel.
Yeah.
Trump said Chelsea Gabbard was her is the woman that is over somebody that he appointed
Okay.
that gives a report with the IAEA, which inspect the weapons,
Mm-hmm.
which expect the nuclear munitions and things like that, right?
Right.
She gave the report to the intelligence, admitted that no, Iran is nowhere near making a nuclear weapon. They do have 60%, uh, you know, the of the material in stock, but they're not actually making a nuclear weapon. So okay, your dumb guy. He's probably not your guy, but 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 one of the three stooges, Pete Hegseth, he took her words and twisted it and took it to Trump and twisted it and said that they do have it. And then there was another colonel too somewhere. I've forgotten his name. He stood with Pete. and verified Pete's word. But see, Pete probably took him to the golf course and probably gave him some tickets to some big game or something to get him to back him up in the meeting and saying that, yeah, it's true, you know. Anywho, uh,
Yeah.
he
Yeah, but
wanted,
the thing about it is, if they had it or didn't have it, it sent a message. Don't even think about it.
no, it didn't really send a message because
Right.
Iran kicked the bazoozas out of Israel's butt. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why Trump tried to get a ceasefire
Mm-hmm.
is because Israel couldn't last but 12 more days.
Mm-hmm.
Economically, with
Well.
and wait, hold on, with supplies, they were
Mm-hmm.
running out. They were running out of interceptors. They was running out of warheads, and that's why he had asked for the bombers because he thought that was going to really stop Iran. It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so Israel only had 12 more days. That's less than a 2 week supply of
Okay.
of missiles, warheads, and interceptors. The interceptors are the ones that keep the bombs from coming in his fabulous dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Israel fabulous dome.
Right.
Okay, so that's the reason why Trump was pushing for the ceasefire. It
Well,
wasn't that he could hold on.
go ahead.
I just hold it. I'm gonna let you when you're gonna know when I stop. That's the only reason why Trump was trying to push for it because Trump had sense enough to know that Iran was already kicking the bazookas out of Israel's butt, that they were going to get wiped off the map. So he is the one. That's the only time he ever found enough of you know what to put Netanyahu in his place. Because Netanyahu is basically totally mentally ill. He was still wanting to fight. He one of these guys that I'm gonna fight to the end, and I'm gonna be the last one on the ship. I don't care if y'all everybody get killed. I am not stopping. That's the kind of guy he is, right? So Trump knows that, and that's the only reason
Yeah.
why he was trying to get the ceasefire. Go ahead.
Let's look at it from this perspective. And this is how I look at it. Y'all know I try to break it down in layman terms so you can understand or catch what's going on.
Mm,
If you have two people that are fighting, right? Somebody is going to give up. And if somebody intervenes in between the two and say, all right, he's had enough, that's enough, right? So
mm-hmm.
one person has beat the other person down. They have won the fight, but somebody intervenes and say, "Look, that's it. He's had enough." Same thing with with the countries. This is what's going on. Trump said that he was just going to let them fight and get out the way because the times that he tried to have sit downs and speak logic to them, neither side would listen. So what can you do? If two people start fighting and you tell them stop, 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 and they don't stop and they continue to fight.
Well, he finally got frustrated because on the news he said, "Listen," he asked the news reporter. He said, "Look, Israel and Iran, the two countries have been fighting for 30 years, and don't neither one of them know what the f they doing."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, Liberty.
That everything.
Israel is a good country. Iran is a bad one. Iran suppresses women's rights and the rights of all peoples. Israel is good, proper, modern, and clean. Iran is backwards and evil. Okay, so it's two sides to a coin. Liberty. You can take a Liberty half-dollar coin, United States coin, got a head and it's got a tail. So you're
Mm-hmm.
saying that Iran is a tail. Well, there are people that could say that Israel is the tail and Iran is the heads. And I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
why. Because Israel allows men to have sex with men. It's part of their government policy. The IDF soldiers can have sex with the prisoners that they capture, the Palestinian boys
Oh
that
wow.
they capture and put in prison. Oh, yeah. And so a lot of uh, the men of Israel are gay. They are gay. They have sex with each other because, according to their Torah law, they cannot have sex with a woman until they're married. And why do they marry women? not for just necessarily pleasure of sex. It's simply for recreation. So when they want pleasure, they have sex with each other as men. Okay, that's two things. Now I don't think Iran does that. They might suppress women and want women to act in a certain way and be submissive. Probably. I'll give you that. But a lot of people would say that having sex with men is evil. Trump did. Trump doesn't like LGBTQ. He doesn't like gay folks at all. And that's another thing I can't understand about it. If I don't understand why Trump supports Netanyahu so much when he knows that Netanyahu has allowed this to go on his country and for forever, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, forever long, because it's part of the government. It's not against the law for them to have sex with men, men with men, but that women can't have sex. Israeli women
Nah,
can't have
they
sex
get
with the
big.
women.
Yeah, they get big
So
headed over
it
there.
sounds like a suppression of women to me. So if the men can have sex with men, why can't the women have sex with women? So you talk about suppressing women's rights, all right? So as I can see, I give you like I say, it's us two sides to a coin. I was a head, I was a tail. All right. Thank you, Liberty, for joining us.
Thanks a
And we
little bit.
appreciate your opinion because I do like to hear other people's position
Yes,
on things
yes.
because we tell both sides of the story.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna tell it to you whether it's good or bad.
oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Oh, and the other thing, well, I'm through with that, so I'm not gonna say that. Uh, I'm not gonna say that part, but it is important. It is important because this is the whole issue about the is what Israel is doing wrong about colonial settlement, stealing the land of the Palestinians and burning down their houses, taking their land. You wouldn't want anybody to come to your house with your
No,
liberty and take and take your land, threaten you, beat you up, shoot you a kid, and just steal your land and deed it over in their name. Now, would you? But Israel has done that for 67 years, so that's why some people would say that Israel is the tail of the coin and not the heads. So that is important. I knew it was three things I had to talk about. Okay,
mm.
Tim, closing remarks.
Wow, that's a lot. We unpacked a lot tonight. Wow. You know, you're gonna get it here if you don't get it anywhere else. We're gonna give it to you raw and uncut.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Lot of information, good information.
Hmm.
Yeah, with that, that's really all I can say. Can't wait to do it again.
All right. Well, listen, let me tell you all. Listen, I know what we got a holiday coming up. Is it
The fourth.
next weekend? We won't be live. So you guys have a good happy 4th of July.
Be safe.
Don't celebrate too much. Don't drink too much.
Yeah.
Don't get angry and get to cursing and fighting, lead to shooting
Road
and all
rage.
that crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, watch your surroundings, look around you, be cautious,
Yeah.
be kind, and be courteous to people. You know, I know everybody likes to have a little alcohol, and alcohol will make you crazy. But if your tail get caught doing something bad, you going to jail. The saying the alcohol or you drank too much made you do it. It's not gonna help.
Nah.
Ain't gonna help. So
Mm-mm.
make sure that you drink moderately. And if you can't control yourself, uh, get yourself a
Yeah.
chaperone.
And if you don't want to drive, get your Uber.
Get your, oh, definitely don't drive, y'all.
Yeah,
Please.
get your Uber.
Yeah, go ahead and start saving you some money this week. Take
Mm-hmm.
some money out your Friday check today and say, I'm going to set this aside $40, $50 for my Uber fee.
To and from. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a reminder, AAA tow
Mm-hmm.
service, they will come and get you, and I think they will take you up to 15 miles
Mm-hmm.
if you're drunk. They will
Mm-hmm.
come and tow you and your car. Hey, you can't
That's a
beat
good one.
that.
Yeah, that's a good
That-
one. You and the car. Well, at least you want to wake up and wonder where your car is. It'll be there.
exactly right, Tim. All
Hmm.
right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. And
Thanks,
that's
y'all.
our time. Good night. We love
Good night.
y'all. Bye.